Try to make this quick. What's really good? LeSBP Trading, Familia, Buenos Dias, Bonjour, Bon dia, Sabona, Guten Abend, Como Masakea, Avtav. Thank you all for tuning in. I've done this video like 5 times already now. But either way, let's go ahead and jump right into the news before I mess this up again. I keep probably over talking myself. So today we had non-farm employment change, average hourly earnings month over month, and unemployment rate at 8:30. Today is June 6th. NFP came out pretty well in comparison to the rest of the news for the week, other than Joe's job openings. So I was kind of excited for the day, and then I looked at the market and I said, "Fuck, we kind of got left behind." So I'll talk about that in a second, though. Here on TradeEvade, which I downloaded today because I kind of had an excuse for why I didn't hold my winning trade, but it was very interesting. It was a very interesting day. We ended up taking a one contract 20 second 20-second trade because I thought I wasn't going to be able to trade today. The market kind of ran away from me. So I was like, well, if we don't get any trades, that's totally fine. I'll just trade one contract for a few seconds so that we can, move along the days. If you know anything about the challenges, they always have a certain amount of days that they need you to trade and all this other stuff. And currently for Take Profit Trader, it is 5 days. So I only had two in the books. I knew I needed another day to just keep moving it forward. So I just threw in that little one contract trade. We ended up losing $15 on it. And then lo and behold, 45 minutes later, we got an actual trade. And I was like, really? So I didn't have to take a loss for no reason. But hey, that's neither here nor there. So looking at the dashboard or the Take Profit Trader control center, traded days is now 3. Reached your profit target of 3,000, so we're at $2,108.50. So we're almost there. Biggest trading day cannot be more than 50% of your total profit, so 1,003.50. So we're doing good on that because we're at 33.45%. And then we haven't broken any of the rules here. As you can see, here is our balance curve. I guess that's what you call it, balance curve. And then here's the daily journal, and this is the one we had for today. So looking at yesterday, because we of course account for the high and the low of yesterday, we had a pretty decent range. So I honestly didn't know where the market was going to go this morning. I was awake at like 12 o'clock. Finally, I finally fell asleep like after there was a trading opportunity down here, and I finally fell asleep right after that trading opportunity. I don't trade during Tokyo or London or anything. I like to kind of account for it, but I don't trade during that time frame. So I was like, all right, I'm not gonna take any trades. And yeah, that kind of shot me in the foot because it was a perfect opportunity that would have led straight into NFP, which pushed even higher, and we would have been kind of looking sitting pretty in a sense. So NFP came out, as you can see, that news popped the market up just even more, and then it just kept going from there. So I didn't even get to stream today because I don't like to waste anybody's time. And in my head, I'm like, well, if I'm possibly not gonna get a trade, I'm not gonna sit on this for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours trying to wait for one. So I didn't even stream today. So I hope you saw my post. I do apologize for not streaming. But as you can see, market open, and we're kind of sitting. If I can show you really quickly, we're kind of sitting around a 4 hour or maybe even a daily support resistance area. So you can see like this little spike right here is a support resistance area, and then you can see price kind of moving sporadically off of this support resistance area as well. And that's left going back towards like February and January and stuff like that. So if you look at currently where we're at now, you have the high of the day and low of the day for yesterday on Thursday, but you also have those really big kind of important support resistance areas on this 4 hour time frame. So I was very weary of today's trades. I knew that because of the market movement, either it was going to keep continuing to go up or it was going to stop at either that high or that support resistance area on the 2 hour or 4 hour time frame. It kind of slightly moved into the middle of it by the time we actually got our actual trade opportunity. But I was like, well, I'm not going to hold anything or try to do anything extra with that. So either way, market moved up. You can see our high of the day kind of bypassed and it came back in. And it just kind of is fighting in between that 4 hour support resistance area and then that high of the day. Pushed up, then pushed back down through it, then pushed into the middle of it. And then finally, I was like, well, you know what? We're probably not going to get any trades. So at 12:30, I took that one contract trade for like 20 seconds. I literally just pressed a button. I was like, sell. and I sold on this candle to waited for 20 seconds, and then I got out of it. We lost the $15. Then, as you can see, market came back down in between my EMAs, and then after it came back in between the EMAs, it rose above it, which gave me a buying opportunity. I bought right here, and what did I say? I said only trade of the day more than likely. This is me speaking literally as I get ready to jump into that trade, and then I said would have let this trade run. This is after the trade, by the way. So I said would have let the trade run, but I couldn't stay near to watch it. Just got back and it hit TP. So I ended up going outside, and me and my son, we were chopping up a tree that fell down in the backyard. So at 14:32, I said just download the TradeAway app. So this isn't my excuse for next time, because by that time I was back. So it took us about an hour to chop it down. By the time I came back, the market was somewhere up here, and I was like, dang, this could have been a nice hold trade. And that's what I'm supposed to be doing for this week. Now next week that'll start over, because I'll have to meet my weekly goal of 40 before I can actually continue to hold trades. I'm hoping that this momentum doesn't have to stop until we at least make what we need to make to beat the challenge, but you never know. So currently right there, this was our $300 trade, and then of course we had the $15 loss from this trade right here, thinking hey, whatever, we're just gonna take one. So we came out with 281 and 50 cents on the day, which is not bad. And then we had one more trading opportunity that I decided not to take, which I'm glad I didn't. It wouldn't have been that bad. It would have been 3.25 loss. We took a 10.25 pip profit, so it wouldn't have been that bad. I think we would have came out on the day with 7 pips, which is, if I remember correctly, I did the calculation earlier. It would have been like $210 or $212 on the day in profit. So it still wouldn't have been that bad. But I was like, you know what? I said, not taking any more trades. We're leaving this one. It's Friday. It's fighting in between this high of yesterday and that support resistance zone. I said, you know what? We're just going to leave it alone, because we already got a profitable trade. It's at the end of the day. It's about to be 4 o'clock. I don't take any trades after 4 p.m. or 1600. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I left it be, and that was a good thing. And then, as you can see, the market kind of just finished off in between that high of yesterday and that support resistance area. So it was a good call. I just didn't see any reason. I really didn't see any reason to go ahead and jump into another trade for no reason. Other than that, I probably could have made my little $15 back, but to me, I was like, yeah, I'm not chasing $15. So fuck that. So other than that, that's really about it. I appreciate you all for hanging around, and like once again, I'm sorry I didn't stream today, because we just didn't have anything. Like literally, we had nothing once the market opened. We didn't get anything until literally that 13:20. So I definitely was damn sure not going to stream for like 4 or 5 hours just waiting on one trade. That's all I got. Hope y'all had a great week. I can't wait to see what next week brings, because I know that we are moving on towards almost passing the challenge, but at the same time, we haven't had a bad day yet. So I'm like, when are we going to have our first bad trading day, in a sense, and I don't mean that as in like bad day as in my strategy being bad. I'm just saying bad day as in like non-profitable day, because it happens. They're there. So we'll see what next week brings. We still have 2 more days that we need to get at least in the books, and $900 currently. So as long as we can do those 2 things, I won't even need to get past that 50% biggest trade mark if I can at least make the 900 without having to lose anything, or have a non-profitable day. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Our weekly goal will start over next week, so we still got to get the 40 pips before we can start holding trades. And if we can pass by next week, I don't know how long the process takes after you pass a challenge to move on to the actual, getting the real account and starting to trade for real funds. So we'll have to see. That'll be the next part of the adventure. All right, y'all. Thanks. Hopefully you had a good day and a good week. Peace.